7 million waves, over 7 million waves. Boom, time flies, am I right? This is my gold build, you can see right here, my main account gold build on a little bit over 7 million waves. I will go through the skill tree, all the items on all of my heroes, and oh boy, there's been some juicy upgrades since the last 6 million waves milestone video and everything related to this build. This is the wave, and let's see the battle results before we go through the build itself. And here they are. My giants are absolutely crushing the waves. I absolutely love these crazy little lunatics, and these are the rest of the units. And how about the gold? Here is my juicy gold income for this build. I will first go through the juicy new items I've been able to add to this build since the 6 million waves video, and then we go through the skill tree, and then we go through all of the items on this build. Starting from the skill window, I now have 28 cooldown skill level +1 lines in this build. I think we had 25 in the 6 million waves video, so there's a major upgrade in there, and one of those is that I've been able to finally add my final Town Archer rune on my Town Archer cannon items. So now I have 4 items on my Town Archer. Each of them have a cooldown skill level +1 line each. There we go. So that in total brings me 4 cooldown skill level +1 lines in my build. So 4 levels to this skill right here. And then the absolutely best, juiciest item I've been able to get for this build since the last video. This is by far my best item on my account, I would say, and it looks like this. Double critical chance sword with +1 summoned unit and yellow item quality line. So what does the item quality line mean? It means that it will take these values of critical chance lines and it will increase them by +23%. So the real values are shown in here. So this is insanely good item for your giants. It's the best kind of an item you can get for your giants, and it's filled with attack speed runes, which is absolutely beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. By far, I would say this is the best item I have on my main account, so I'm really happy about that one. And then the second item is also very good for my damage dealers, because I was finally able to get a better bow for my bowmaster after like over 6 million waves or so. Didn't take that long, huh? So double critical chance bow with a cooldown skill level +1 line, and it's filled with some attack speed runes, which you usually want for bowmaster as well. And well, the first line, this flat damage, is useless for this item, so it should be critical damage or even physical damage, attack speed, normal damage, whatever would be better than this one. But still, this is a very solid item, and I'm super happy for this item as well. It also allows me to get 1 more cooldown skill level +1 line for this build. And then third, I was finally able to get 1 item with double cooldown lines and cooldown skill level +1 line. Yes, this is my very first item with double cooldown and cooldown skill level +1 line. And I'm over 7 million waves in the game. I don't know, am I unlucky? How many do you have? I would love to know. Leave me a comment down below if you have more than I do, because I don't know, I probably should have more, but I'm really satisfied to get even my first one. And it's currently on my alchemist, so that I can get a little bit more frogs possibly on the field, which means I will be able to get a little bit more gold from the waves. And it doesn't have any runes, so that means my alchemist is a little mana heavy to be used at this moment. I could use some MP cost reduction runes over there, but for now I've been able to run it just fine even without those. And then my current skill tree on 7 million plus waves, I will scroll through it so you can see every single point I've been putting in this build. It's pretty similar to the 6 million waves skill tree that I showed in the previous video, but of course there's a couple of more points that I've been able to add into this build. There's still some things that I want from this skill tree eventually, so I will keep on waving, keep on earning a little bit more skill points. Especially, for example, I will want this sword node over here from the fire tree eventually, but that will still take a while. Now, if you are on early game, your skill tree will look a little bit different than this one, so make sure to check the description of this video, because I will link some images over there for you that you can use if you are in early game. And then let's go through every single item in this build if you are curious to see those. Let's start from the 13th hero slot. In here we have Autobattle, who is just slaving some cooldown skill level +1 lines and some global runes on both items. He doesn't need any lines on his own, so you can just use any ether item with cooldown skill level +1 line on Autobattle. Same goes for Smith over here. Cooldown skill level +1 line on both items over here, and some global rune over here as well. Then on Chrono, I do have cooldown skill level +1 lines, again with single percentual cooldown line on both items and some MP cost reduction runes. Now this allows me to run the Chrono's ability 100% of the time, so this is enough for me. If you don't have enough cooldown skill level +1 lines in your build, meaning your pure wizard cooldown is not low enough, you will probably want double cooldown items for Chrono. But for me this is enough, and his ability currently costs only 2% because of the MP cost reduction runes I have in here. Now slingers, they have absolutely beautiful sword. This I've been using for so long, I don't even remember when I got this, to be honest. I think in every single build video I've been doing in the past year or more than a year, I've had this item, and I just can't get a better one because it's absolutely fantastic. And so is this. This is a really beautiful item. Even though +1 summon unit could be something else, it's still somewhat useful for slingers as well. So all of the lines are useful in here. And cooldown skill level +1 line again. You want to stack those. You really want to stack those in your build. Then we can go to the giants, and again, this absolute beast of an item. I can't get enough of this. I absolutely love this item. I'm so freaking happy of this. And the accessory is also very nice as well. It has a cooldown skill level +1 line with some attack speed runes and +1 summoned unit critical chance and damage line. Now, damage line could be critical damage or attack speed or physical damage, but I'm super satisfied of this item as well. On my pure wizard, the same items as previously, so double cooldown on staff with cooldown skill level +1 rune over here, and double cooldown accessory with some global runes in here as well. And no, I still haven't been able to get that DCD IQ accessory or stuff that I've been looking for so long, but surely I will be able to get it before I'm at 8 million waves, right? I have confidence I will eventually get that item, but for now, my pure wizard cooldown is now 6.1 seconds, which is also very low already. But if I can get the DCD IQ, oh boy, that will be absolutely fantastic. My dark assassin has critical chance, critical damage, and area skill damage. Sword, the critical damage line is suboptimal. It should be critical chance, and this would be better, but this will do absolutely fantastic for now. And in here, the same item as previously as well, so some cooldown area skill damage and cooldown skill level +1 line. Again, one more cooldown skill level +1 line for this build. My angels, they are running cooldown skill level +1 line with some damage reduction red lines, and these are the best 2 lines you will want for your angels. The other 2 lines do help out a little bit, but they are not that important. The main thing you want is cooldown skill level +1 and damage reduction lines. Damage helps out a little bit, but again, their main role is to stay alive longer time so they can body block the flying enemies. My alchemist now has the accessory that I previously showed you, the double cooldown skill level +1 line, and also a staff with some cooldown line and cooldown skill level +1 line. Some MP cost reduction runes over here to make his ability a little bit cheaper to use. Again, I could use some runes in here as well to make it a little bit cheaper even, but for now I've been able to run this just fine, so I can't be bothered to use those runes, at least for now. Maybe in the future we will see. On my rogue, I have the same items as previously, cooldown skill level +1 line with some attack speed, and in here as well, cooldown skill level +1 with some attack speed on both items over here. The main line you want for rogue is attack speed because of this static orb. All of the damage basically comes from this, because I don't level my rogue over the level 10,000 in my build. A military band male, again, he can use any item with cooldown skill level or bonus gold skill level +1 line. He doesn't need any other lines on his own, so you can just use any item with cooldown skill level +1 line in your build. And some global runes over there as well. My dark necromancer has, again, wow, cooldown skill level +1 line with some cooldown over here, and cooldown skill level +1 line with some cooldown over here. Since my pure wizard cooldown is so low, I don't need to have my dark necromancer's cooldown lower than pure wizard anymore. But if you are in early game or mid game, you will want to, if possible, have your dark necromancer's cooldown to be lower than your pure wizard's cooldown, so he can double proc during your waves. That will help out a lot. And then finally, from the hero section, we have Bowmaster, and I already showed you this bow, which is absolutely beautiful. I love the bow. And then I have this also absolutely beautiful accessory as well that goes really well together with that bow. Again, this one is missing some runes, so there's some work for me to do. Some dungeons to tackle, but I'm waiting for the update before I start doing that to get some attack speed runes for this item as well. And finally, on Edward, I have a sword with +1 summoned unit and cooldown skill level +1 line, still the same sword. These 2 lines are used as in here, and in here, cooldown skill level +1 line with some physical damage, critical chance, some runes over there as well. This could be improved in the future. Well, the both could be improved in the future, but these are more than enough for my Edward for now. And I already did show the town cannons items, but I will go through them again. So every one of them has a cooldown skill level +1 line. That gives me a total of 4 cooldown skill level +1 lines for this build. So in total, again, we have 28 in this build of cooldown skill levels, which is of course absolutely fantastic. Now let's do a +30 skip and see how that goes. I probably might run out of MP if I'm doing a +30 jump, because +30 skip is much easier to do than a +5 wave on Devil Horn. and that means my worm may not have enough time to actually hit enemies and gain MP. It seems to be fine for now, but sometimes I'm really struggling with mana if I'm doing a plus 30 skip. There we go. Plus 30 skips are much easier than running a Devil Horn plus 4. And here are the battle results of this plus 30 skip. They are much lower than the wave we did previously if you compare. This is the wave and this is the plus 30 skip. I did get a little bit more gold from the plus 30 skip than from the normal wave battle, but they are pretty similar as well. There we go, that's my build for now. Let's see what kind of juicy items I will get by the time I hit 8 million waves. What is the best item you have been lately able to get? I would absolutely love to know, so make sure to leave me a comment down below. I love reading those. And make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already to make sure you see all my videos as soon as I post them. Thank you so much for that. I will see you next time, my friends. Laku out.